Look at that hair. This is horrible. Maybe I need some Novocaine to fix it. Nah, Novocaine ain't for that. But yeah, you might need some Novocaine for this movie. Chase Lee Hockey here with the Blue Futon reviewing Novocaine. What's about pretty simple premise. Jack Quaid can't feel pain, and now his bank gets robbed, and he's going to be after the girl he loves. And you know what? Shenanigans will ensue. Blood, guts, gore, language, and all in between. So did I like this film? Yes. It is a little bit jarring, though. You watch the trailer, even the Red Band trailer, and you're like, okay, not a bad hair day. But then you go like, okay, there's some gore there, some here and there, some silly gags. But then the third act comes, and you're like, oh, we're going gory. We're going gory. We're going some Final Destination gore shit. And you're just like, oh, kind of shocking. So the tonal shifts might be crazy. If you hate gore, this might not be the movie for you, especially for the third act, because it goes there. And that's what I'm saying with this movie. It goes there, so you got to suspend your belief, because there are some things where you're like, oh, third-degree burns on your hand. Yes, you might not feel it, but the actual motions of doing stuff with your hands probably isn't going to be there, because you're still, even though you don't feel it, there's still the nerves that are like, like soggy fish kind of thing, so you're not going to feel it. So there's things like that where you're like, okay, I'll suspend that disbelief. There are some good twists and turns in this movie. I'll say one thing where you're like, oh, that's a nice twist, even though you probably should have seen it coming, but sometimes I'm an idiot, and that's okay. But anyway, the acting, pretty good overall. The story, it's a silly story. It's a cat and mouse game, of course, where you have a guy going after the girl, the cops thinking they're part of it, and it's like, oh, yes, no. And then you have the best friend. Well, the best friend, if you want to put it that way, because Jack Quaid is kind of in a shell because of his disease, if you want to put it that way, where his parents are always sheltering him. People are bullying him. So he's like, you know what? I'm just going to be me, myself, and I want to be happy with making friends over the internet. And, of course, it's a good story about getting out of your bubble and doing stuff, even though it might be a little bit dangerous for you, especially like the whole thing about, eating, like chewing food. He couldn't do it, or he can't do it because he's afraid he's going to bite his tongue off. But at a point, like, you would taste the blood. It would be like, something's not right here. And then how many people actually, like, bite their tongue that hard when they're chewing food? Like, of course, yes, you're going to bite your tongue here and there, but there are some things where it's like, whoa, a little bit extreme. And man, having a liquid diet for that whole life, your stomach and your poop might just be horrible. Like, right? I don't know. I've never tried a liquid diet. Anyway, me just rambling about random shit. Anyway, you're talking about the movie. Yes, it's fun. Yes, it's over the top. Yes, there's some silly stuff. Yes, over the top stuff. And there are some eye roll things that they try to do, especially with this prepper's house. Some dialogue you kind of have to roll your eyes at. You're like, okay, whatever. The bad guy's background is so cliche. Like I said, there's a lot of cliches in this movie. A lot of it. And that's okay, because when the violence is there, everyone in the audience was entertained. It's edited pretty well. It's a fun-looking movie. Jack Quaid has 2 movies come out. He had this one, and he also had Companion come out like a month and a half ago, if that. But yes, Novocaine. Are you looking for a fun little action movie with a decent amount of gore and a decent amount of laughs and funness to it? I think it will be for you. However, like I've said before, forewarning you, if you don't like gore, the third act might irk you if you're expecting just like a buddy comedy action with some fun gags. Yes, there are fun gags, but some of them are like, oh, that's pretty disgusting. So Novocaine will receive a 4 out of 5 Futons, which equals at 80%. So see the critics and user scores gave this one. Yo, the girl's last name is Midthunder. Her name is Amber Midthunder. That's a badass last name. Wait, she was in Prey? Was she the girl from Prey? Was she the main girl in Prey? Oh, she's in Opius, and that's not getting good reviews at all. She's in Naru. I don't think she's the main girl. Ooh, Opus is not getting good reviews. Interesting. That's the weird John Malkovich looking one. I am intrigued at that one. Anyway, no critics, no user scores, so it's just this guy giving it an 80%. Chase out here with the Blue Futon. Like, comment, subscribe. One of these Bluetontopia. You Blue Tony. Thank you for watching for a great down. Watch this tape tomorrow, week from a month, and a year from. We're just going to freak one of you. Peace and love. Peace and love. And yes, Novocaine is a pretty dangy drug.